Quicksilver has Atheran, Sunoda, Sjovar, and Ellminaidra.
And
And
who's
Star
hosting tonight?
Stars. It'll
Stars.
be an
Okay.
Arkane.
Okay.
Yep. And Stars is running familiar players, um, just Azula, Kimpaz, Kiid, and Szy'gash. So they're pretty much going with their melee team here. They're not going to do double mage or triple or anything. They're just going to, and they don't need to really because there's nothing on Quicksilver that requires it. Quicksilver has changed it up a little bit. I don't think they have run Sunoda yet this season, but she is an old player. She played in Quicksilver's last season, and they were pretty competitive. I think generally they tried to field Draniel with that pirate gimmick, but they did field her some, including in the finals match, the last match of the season. So it'll be interesting to see how everybody plays here, but obviously Stars is going to be favored heavily, both for experiential reasons and because it looks like they have a better comp, honestly.
Yeah. This is probably going to be a stomp. I mean, we talked about before the season started. Quicksilver's performance is going to come down a lot to whether or not Lacton and Corinthian show up.
Yeah,
Without
I
them, they
think that.
just don't have much in the way of power.
Mm-hmm. Perithian, Lacton, and Ellminaidra would be a good three core, and then you'd need an extra player to kind of sub in. But against Stars, who is heavily favored, I think these two teams are 2-0 and 0-2. Obviously, Stars are going to be the heavy favorites this match. It looks like they fielded Szy'gash for chokes. They're probably going to choke Ellminaidra out a fair bit, and they're going to have Kiid just wreck the human hitters. Now, basically, it looks like Quicksilver is aiming to have maybe Atheran and Sunoda run heals. The Scald is probably going to cap if they can get there. It may not get to that. And then that's going to be their main strategy. And they do have some healing. Like, to their credit, I see what they're doing because they have the Priest who's going to refresh ERs on everyone. And they have a Druid, a Crusader, and a Scald. So they have a very healer intensive team. But healing doesn't always matter depending on the strategy. And in this case, that'll probably be what happens, is that Stars just bum rush them. Or control so well that it's a non-issue.
Let's see. This is working. Nope, of course not. Apparently I have no idea how to use anything in oh, here we go, that's why. Just trying to figure out how to use basic things like aliases in Mudlet. It's proving challenging. Okay, here we go. Let's pull up stream again. Hello, folks.
Was stream on earlier? Did the introductions log, or do we need to go over it again?
No, I've had the our mics have been running. I just
Okay.
did not have the I didn't have the game broadcasting. I had it on an overlay.
Okay. Well, it wasn't necessary. Like when it starts up, we'll need to get it up. But
Yeah, it's running now. The overlay is down.
okay.
I just wanted to
All
try
right. Are
and
you
get
in the
those triggers
arena?
and everything.
We're 3 minutes still.
I am. I'm in place, ready for the match to start. So,
Okay.
this
We got plenty of time.
this is going to be pretty brutal, though, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean there are a couple of like they haven't run the Armsman. Stars haven't yet, so there could be a little rust there. But Szy'gash has done relatively well in the past. Like he's never been a crutch other than maybe saves issues. And I think that they're running the right composition for this. I think that any Stars team could probably beat Quicksilver in this configuration. Uh, Not because Quicksilver is a bad team, but because composition wise, it doesn't favor them too much.
Yeah, the
Because
biggest
basic
problem is that they
Quicksilver's
have.
main issue
Go ahead.
Quicksilver's main issue is that they have all human race people with the exception of the druid. And that means that running an armsman for stars is very, very beneficial because he's going to be able to free choke every single one of them. And none of them can hide except, again, the druid. So there's not, it's going to be a control game. And Kiid and Sjovar are probably going to do this very successfully while Kimpaz runs the flag and Azula does what she always does, which is heal very well and just be overall great support for her team.
And in addition to
But I'm
that,
rooting for my Shadow guys.
they just don't have the damage output to deal with it.
No, no, it's they're going to tank pretty well unless Stars runs the flag fast, which they will. But it's okay. It looks like the match has started. We're opening up. We're just getting everybody ready. There, I'm not seeing poisons, so yeah, I didn't see Quicksilver poison, at least most of them. So that's interesting.
Could be a, well, I would say costly mistake, except given the way I think this is going to play out regardless. But it
Yeah.
could definitely be awkward.
Okay. Okay. There's a poison. There's
one.
Ellminaidra remembered at least. So let's see.
I guarantee what they did was poison
Kimp-
while they were in the prep room, not realizing that the restore is going to cure
and it
it.
refreshed. Yeah. Yeah. Again, it's just new stuff. You know, you get used to it throughout the season, and it's a new team, so they're gonna have mistakes like this, little mistakes, but they'll learn, adapt. See, there's not too much damage output by anyone yet, but they haven't really opened big. Kimp has already flag capped, which is really interesting.
It's about what I
It
expected.
makes sense because none of them.
They
Yeah,
have no damage
maybe
output.
Sunoda can stun some with hoof. Yeah, and they don't have. I mean, Kimpaz is probably less worried about human stunning than say brutes.
Yeah, he just, Quicksilver doesn't have the damage output to really hurt Kimpaz at this point.
Kimpaz is probably drawing them in. He's going to chain them a bit, and then they'll get on him after that. And it's a very, very confident move. I don't know if I would have done it that quick, just because I tend to be a cautious player, but it could work. I mean, it probably will, just because
It's definitely a
Quicksilver's
cocky
kind of
play.
looking around a little bit. It's a cocky play, but Quicksilver isn't. They're sort of letting it happen right now. So, I mean, it might have been a correct strategy. You know, there's a choke. Okay, so they're drawing them into Kimpaz, it looks like, which is actually pretty smart. Nobody's in yellow yet. Rounds are going. There is some damage out finally. Sunoda and Kimpaz are in yellow.
And Stars is
Azula
just
is
going to
too, and
rescue
Atheran.
Kimpaz across the map, looks like.
Yeah, he's going to move. It's going to work too, probably. Because, let's see. They don't have anyone that can blind. So
And there's the first score.
So basically, Kimpaz is probably relying on that for rescues, and there's the first cap already. So Just
Yeah,
because there's a lack of a reliable blind,
so that's their
that's going to give
strategy.
Kimpaz free reign to run rescues.
Szy'gash and Kiid and Azula even with Charmies are just gonna rescue Kimpaz across the map. They're not even gonna fight it.
Yeah. You don't even have to kill a single person, basically. You just have to run free rescues on them, and it'll work. I mean, obviously you have to worry about damage a little bit, but they're losing the damage battle right now. So you have to give credit to Kimpaz though, because he does think often and a lot. Like he's honestly, it's just credit to stars. It's one of the reasons they've remained. But he did good. I'm willing to bet that this was at least in part his decision.
The rescue strategy.
Yeah, because I mean, if they're not running Blackfin or somebody who can blind or even somebody you have to worry about with damage too much, then you can do something like that.
And I think he is normally the shot caller over at Stars, at least in Bodrum's absence.
Right. I don't know definitively, but I do have, I mean, just based on what he's said on the forums and his general input, I get the impression at least that he's 50%. He's the McCartney Lennon of the Stars team.
And those cones are just ugly. Look at that
Yeah.
damage.
And Kids initiates too are just insane right now.
And Kimpaz isn't even hurt. He's not even yellow. And he's had the flag for pretty much the entire match so far. There's the second score.
This is safely going to be game. Quicksilver's not going to pick anything up just because they're not going to be able to do enough damage. Kiid alone is running enough damage on them that it's losing them the melee fight.
I mean, I expect they'll try and do a panic capture, but
yeah,
it's whoever grabs the flag is just going to die very quickly. And you see, the moment he picks up the flag, Kimpaz makes a new golem because he knows he's going to use it to rescue.
And you'll also see Azula run west with him always. Not only probably to be there for healing, but she's got the bear.
Elemental and bear, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, this is just really good synergy on Star's part.
Yeah, they're 100% devoted to that, and it's working beautifully too.
Mm-hmm.
This is what ACFL is about to me. The strategies, you don't even have to fight. You just have to get the flag over. It's fantastic. You notice that your opponents
it's
don't
one
have
reason that I
lines.
personally prefer AGL or ACFL over AGL. Just because with AGL, it's oftentimes a mechanics game. You know, unless there's a significant skill disparity, what comp is going to win in that fashion. But ACFL, you can look at the flag score, but if people aren't performing, if all 4 people aren't synergizing correctly, then it can reverse always. And it often has in past seasons.
Yeah, because you can have, I mean, there's mechanics factor in, of course. Player skill is another big factor. But then you also just have a third major factor that isn't present as much in AGL, which is strategy and tactics. Things like this. Even a weaker, less skilled team, you know, in terms of field PK, could pull something like this off and make an upset.
Oh yeah, which is why beforehand, you know, if you're Stars or someone, and that's game. But if you're Stars or someone, you want to look and you want to kind of look at the chinks in your armor and make sure that you mitigate anything so that nothing happens like that.
I mean, that was a beautiful strategy from Stars.
Yeah, that was a good game. That was a good execution.
I think they could have won without it, but it's good practice for them in the future. Because they
it is, and it looks like what I like about this is that it shows that even on off games where they would expect to win, they're still honing their stuff, and that's one reason they're going to be a competitor at the end of the season. They're going to be in finals almost certainly, if not the number 1 seed, depending on how Brutes operates.
That was beautiful to watch. I gotta say, I enjoyed that.
Yeah,
I
credit to
expected to
Stars
see
for that strat.
I expected to just see a straight up, you know, brute force approach and just knock them down with overwhelming damage. But they surprised me and pulled
Yeah.
out something a little trickier when they didn't even have
Yeah, they
to.
weren't that lazy.
So that was cool.
That was good.
I think pretty good night. So folks, the way this is gonna work is the two of us are gonna be casting most of your games. I'm gonna try and bring in players from the game to join us as a third. Um, Actually, I was supposed to have somebody on tonight, and I forgot to bring him in, so I apologize for that. I got sidetracked trying to fix things on the stream and on the broadcast. But
Yeah.
we will
Next
see you
match is
guys.
Thursday. It'll be Brutes versus Hadra and Gallo Glass versus Stars, and we can pick this up again.
I can't promise you that I will be here for every match to broadcast, but I will do my best to broadcast matches that we are available for.
Yeah, and if
So,
nothing else, we can pick a highlight match of the week that you can make and do something every week just to keep up interest.
so I hope you guys enjoyed this. I will post the videos up on YouTube as soon as possible. So have a good night, and we'll see you guys later.
All right, good games.